Hello everyone, and welcome to our comprehensive look at the weather unfolding across the United States today. Thanks for joining me as we break down the latest national weather picture, highlighting the most important developments you need to know about. Across the country, several significant weather systems are taking shape, each bringing its own set of challenges and concerns for millions of Americans. First, a powerful storm system is set to bring dangerous weather to Texas and the Gulf Coast. We're talking about the potential for large hail, damaging winds, and even tornadoes, conditions that can change rapidly and cause significant damage in a short period of time. Meanwhile, in the Caribbean, a tropical storm is brewing. This system is showing all the signs of intensifying into a major hurricane, and it's already threatening several islands with heavy rain, strong winds, and the possibility of dangerous storm surge. Up in the Pacific Northwest, residents are bracing for a prolonged period of wet and windy weather. Heavy rain is expected to drench cities like Seattle and Portland, raising the risk of flooding in low-lying areas and making travel hazardous. My job is to break all of this down for you, so you know exactly what to expect, when to expect it, and how to stay safe as these systems move through. The main story tonight begins in the heart of the country, where a dramatic clash of warm, moist air from the Gulf and cooler, drier air from the north is setting the stage for severe thunderstorms. These storms are capable of producing intense lightning, heavy downpours, and even hail. This volatile system will first impact Texas today, Friday, bringing the threat of severe weather to cities like Dallas, Houston, and Austin. Residents should be prepared for rapidly changing conditions and keep an eye on local alerts. By Saturday, the system is expected to shift eastward, targeting the Gulf Coast states, including Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, with heavy rain and the risk of flash flooding. We are particularly concerned about the intensity of these storms, as they are capable of producing not just large hail and strong winds, but also isolated tornadoes that can develop with little warning and cause significant destruction. Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Melissa in the Caribbean is moving through an environment with warm waters and low wind shear, conditions that are perfect for strengthening into a major hurricane over the next 24 to 48 hours. This puts places like Jamaica and Cuba in a dangerous position, as residents there are already preparing for the possibility of hurricane-force winds, flooding rains, and widespread power outages. So, let's get right into the details, starting with the severe weather threat in Texas, and what you can do to stay safe as these storms approach. Today is Friday, October 24th, and it's a day that demands your attention if you live anywhere in Texas. The weather is taking center stage, and everyone from the Panhandle to the Gulf Coast should be on alert. Across the Lone Star State, conditions are primed for severe weather, and forecasters are urging residents to stay weather-aware throughout the day and into the night. The National Weather Service has issued a slight risk for severe storms over a large portion of Texas, meaning that while not everyone will see dangerous weather, many areas could experience hazardous conditions. By midday, storms are expected to ignite in western Texas. The main concern at first will be large, damaging hail. Hailstones big enough to dent cars, break windows, and damage roofs. As the afternoon wears on, these storms could intensify into supercells. Supercells are the most powerful type of thunderstorm, capable of producing not just giant hail, but also tornadoes and intense lightning. The Storm Prediction Center has highlighted a significant tornado threat, especially for areas in north and central Texas. Residents should have a plan in place and be ready to act quickly if warnings are issued. As night falls, these individual storms are expected to merge, forming a powerful squall line that will race eastward across the state, bringing widespread impacts. The main threat will then shift to damaging straight-line winds, which can knock down trees, power lines, and cause power outages. Flying debris and hazardous travel conditions are likely. The line of storms could reach Abilene between 8 and 9 p.m., then push into Dallas and Waco around midnight. If you live in these cities, make sure you have multiple ways to receive weather alerts. For central and southern Texas, the most intense weather will arrive in the pre-dawn hours of Saturday, catching many people while they're asleep. Austin can expect the squall line to move through around 1 a.m., bringing heavy rain, gusty winds, and the potential for flash flooding. San Antonio will likely see the storms closer to 3 a.m., so residents should be prepared for loud thunder and possible power outages overnight. By sunrise, the system will reach Houston, bringing heavy rain and the risk of flooding to the city around 7 a.m. Stay vigilant, Texas. Tonight's storms could be severe, so keep your phones charged and your weather radios on. As we move into Saturday, the severe weather threat shifts eastward. A new slight risk for severe weather will be in place from Austin, Texas, to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The fuel for these storms will be warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico. New storms are expected to pop up in the afternoon, likely starting near Austin. These storms will quickly become severe, with large hail and damaging winds as the main concerns. Forecasters predict an explosion of storms from Corpus Christi past Houston. One of the biggest concerns for Saturday is an increased threat of tornadoes. The tornado threat will be most pronounced from Beaumont, Texas, eastward into Louisiana. The Houston area is also included in this heightened risk zone. It is essential that everyone in this risk area has a plan to seek shelter if a warning is issued. Saturday has the potential to be just as dangerous, if not more so, for many communities along the Gulf Coast. Let's talk about the two biggest dangers with this storm system: tornadoes and flooding. These are not just ordinary weather threats. They can be life-changing events that strike with little warning and leave lasting impacts on communities. The Storm Prediction Center has outlined a significant tornado threat for both Friday and Saturday, meaning conditions are favorable for tornadoes to form and potentially cause widespread damage. Tornadoes can develop quickly within these thunderstorms, sometimes with only minutes of warning. They can uproot trees, destroy homes, and toss vehicles, making them extremely dangerous. It is vital to have multiple ways to receive warnings, such as a weather radio or smartphone apps. Power outages and cell service disruptions are common during severe weather, so having backup methods is crucial. Know your safe place in advance, like a bathroom or a closet on the lowest floor, away from windows. Practicing your plan with your family can save precious seconds when every moment counts. If you live in a mobile home, have a plan to get to a sturdier shelter. Mobile homes, even when anchored, offer little protection from tornadoes, so arrange ahead of time where you'll go if a warning is issued. The other major threat is flooding from heavy rain. Flooding can happen rapidly, especially in low-lying or urban areas where water has nowhere to go. This storm system is tapping into a lot of moisture, producing tremendous rainfall in a short period. Even areas that don't usually flood can be at risk when rain falls this quickly. An excessive rainfall outlook is in effect, with possible totals of 4 to 6 inches in some areas. That much rain can overwhelm drainage systems and lead to dangerous conditions. This amount of rain can easily lead to flash flooding, especially in urban areas where concrete and asphalt prevent water from soaking into the ground. Flash floods can turn streets into rivers in minutes. Remember, turn around, don't drown. Most flood-related deaths happen in vehicles, so never risk driving through water no matter how shallow it looks. Never drive through a flooded roadway. Water can be deeper than it appears, and just a few inches can sweep a car away or stall your engine, leaving you stranded. The combination of severe thunderstorms, the threat of tornadoes, and heavy rain makes this a hazardous weather event. Stay alert, have a plan, and take warnings seriously to keep yourself and your loved ones safe. Now we shift focus to the Caribbean Sea, where Tropical Storm Melissa is churning. Melissa has winds of around 46 miles per hour, but its future potential is concerning. The storm is moving slowly, sitting over warm ocean water, perfect for a hurricane. Forecasters expect Melissa to undergo rapid intensification, possibly becoming a Category 4 hurricane. The ocean heat content is extremely high, acting like high-octane fuel. The upper-level winds are light, creating a near-perfect scenario for strengthening. The slow forward speed allows it to absorb a tremendous amount of energy. This forecast is a dire warning for anyone in the storm's potential path. A storm that strengthens quickly can catch people off guard. Residents in the Western Caribbean should not judge Melissa by its current status. Preparations for a major life-threatening hurricane should be underway. All eyes in this region should be on the latest forecasts. This is not a storm to be taken lightly. The forecast for Hurricane Melissa represents a potentially catastrophic situation for Jamaica. The storm is expected to be a major hurricane as it approaches the island on Tuesday. Jamaica could be battered by hurricane-force winds, torrential rain, and a dangerous storm surge. This is a life-threatening scenario, and preparations should be rushed to completion. The worst-case scenario would be if the storm's center passes just west of Jamaica. This path would keep the hurricane's core over warm water, maintaining its intensity. After passing Jamaica, the threat shifts to eastern Cuba, with potential landfall on Wednesday. Residents in these areas must heed all warnings and prepare for a major hurricane impact. With a major hurricane developing, will Hurricane Melissa impact the United States? For now, the Gulf Coast, Florida, and the southeast coast are protected by a weather pattern. A large dip in the jet stream will steer Hurricane Melissa away from the United States mainland. This system creates winds that block the hurricane from moving towards the United States. Instead, the storm will turn north and then northeast, away from our coastline. While a direct hit is not expected, the East Coast could feel indirect effects like large ocean swells. These swells will create dangerous surf and a high risk of rip currents. The United States will be spared the worst of this dangerous hurricane. While focused on severe storms and the hurricane, we cannot forget the Pacific Northwest. An atmospheric river is setting up, pointed at Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. This event will bring heavy rain and strong winds, with a significant risk of flooding. Rivers and streams could rise quickly, and urban flooding is a concern. The saturated ground increases the danger of landslides. The mountains will see a tremendous amount of snow, making travel difficult. Residents should prepare for a wet, windy, and potentially disruptive few days. Finally, let's look at the national weather pattern for the week ahead. The southeast will be cooler than average due to a trough pulling down cooler air. In contrast, the southwest will be very warm, with temperatures much warmer than average. This sharp contrast in temperatures drives our active weather patterns. We are also watching for a potential nor'easter along the east coast next week. It is too early to know for sure, but it could bring rain and wind to the mid-Atlantic and northeast. From severe storms and flooding to a major hurricane and an atmospheric river, there's something happening in nearly every corner of the map. Stay alert, keep up with the latest forecasts, and have a plan to keep you and your family safe.